42. Then they said to the woman, "Now we believe, not just because of what you told us, but because we have heard him ourselves. Now we know that he is indeed the Savior of the world." What I want to encourage you guys to understand is that if you have an opportunity to share your faith, it takes you years with a friend. At some point, you need to push them to make a decision. Okay? I know that's hard. That goes against everything we're taught as being good people. But at some point, if they keep asking and you feel like they're being sincere, they're not just mocking you or whatever, at some point you got to say, you know what? You got to decide. Because Jesus expects you to decide. A no decision is a no decision. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not deciding is you're saying no.
Not doing
Right,
something
right.
is
So
not right.
So there comes a point. Jesus is very clear. You know, if you accept me, I will accept you before my Father in heaven. That's an important part of our faith, and it's something we need to know as we're helping people meet Jesus. All right, next section, then we'll be done with this chapter. That would be a good place to stop. 43 to the end of it. They have moved back to Galilee now. So they made it through Samaria. They're back up to Galilee. And there's this official guy who comes to Jesus and says, "My son is dying. Can you please come and heal him?" Now, this incident, as John records it, Jesus told the man to go home. "Your son will live," verse 50. And the man believed. He just flat out
But
believed.
before
He trusted.
that, he
Yes.
was like, "You don't believe in me unless I create miracles."
Right.
So I kind of see his like how he can be kind of PO'd about it.
Uh-huh.
Because
Sure.
like you only believe in me when I do miracles. Now your son's all of a sudden died, and you want me, but he did
Right.
still,
Right.
Because he's Jesus.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sure is-
And that's a good point, Jen. I couldn't decide when I read that, I couldn't decide if, it sounds bad, I don't mean in a sinful way, if Jesus is just letting off a little steam
Yeah.
generically, not
I think
necessarily
so.
at this man, but you're
Yeah.
right. But then this man, maybe it was kind of like, he's got all this stuff going on. He's
Yeah.
pressed in on every side by people. And then maybe it was one of those moments, we have other examples of this, where Jesus sensed a real faith in this guy.
Yeah.
You know, and the guy says, "Oh, can you come and heal my son?" Guess what? If you go home, he's going to be healed. And the man said, "Oh, okay, I believe."
He believed
And he
him.
goes on. And the cool part, you catch this, right? He went home, and exactly when Jesus said he would be healed is when the servant said his son was healed.
Cool.
So, and that's just such a great story. The entire household, we're told,
Better not
believed
have
in
any more
Jesus.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
1:00 in the afternoon,
Yeah.
paper read.
Yeah, right. Verse 53 on that. But the whole household comes to Christ. So we're seeing these pockets, these towns, these communities, these families, finally starting to see who Jesus is and accept him and believe, whether or not they see miracles. You know, actually see
Right.
it. This man went home believing. That's so cool. I hadn't really thought about that this afternoon as I was writing it down, but it's like cool to think about this guy going, you know, if it was me, I'd be, "Are you sure?"
I'd run
Right.
all the way. I'd run all
I
the way
think
home.
if he said
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
it would.
Or
Yeah.
I told you my favorite prayer in the Bible is when the guy said, Jesus comes off the mountain, the guy says, "My son, they tried to help him, they can't help him," and Jesus says, or the guy says, "Well, can you heal my son?" "Well, do you believe I can?" "Well, no, I mean, yeah, but I believe, but help my unbelief." That's my favorite prayer in the Bible. And I think